Channa,
Hey.
what's up, man? Throw the headphones on. We're live.
Oh, hey, what's
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
guys?
Say hi.
What's up?
Yo, what's up? What's up out there?
This is gonna be my first time live on LinkedIn. I wonder how I sound.
Oh, you sound amazing, fantastic, incredible.
I can't compare to you, man.
Oh, well,
you're
you
the
know,
podcast voice here.
years
so-
of practice, 400
Yes.
episodes.
Yeah, my name is Channa. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah. See, okay, all right. We got invitations here today. Very good.
All right.
So Channa's with Rabot, right?
All right. This is a good opportunity to maybe fix the name here.
Yeah, let's do
so we went with Rabot.
Yeah.
Then we found out that in French, I'm going to mess this thing up. So in French, what it means, it means sanding plane. And I think
Okay.
it's pronounced Rabot. And
Rabot.
sanding plane is continuous improvement. So
Mm.
our whole approach is let's take it step by step and help you improve your operations. But we'll get to what we do in a sec. But yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so
Rabot.
Rabot.
There you go.
Okay, so Rabot. You heard it here first. It's Rabot. It's not Rabot.
Yes.
Which I think makes total sense. I mean, because I know what you guys are doing. I saw a little demo at Manifest, and it's really interesting stuff. But I won't spoil it. You tell us. What do you guys do at Rabot?
Yeah, thank you. So we are. I know this is going to get used a lot, but we are an operations visibility platform for warehouse teams.
Yeah.
So what I mean by visibility is actual images and videos of exactly what's going on the floor. And what we do is we layer in the AI ML on it, which would bring the intelligence and would give actionable insights to the warehouse teams on what they need to do, whether it's errors that they might find, performance improvements, and things like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The technology, seeing it kind of work, and I think, talk to us a little bit about, I guess, so people understand a little bit more what it does. The use case you were showing, and I think that was the first kind of use case you focused on was basically checking if at the pack station the packaging is being done correctly, right? So tell us a little bit about, I guess, why would you focus on that first, and how does that kind of work?
Yeah. The way we fell into the problem, I spoke to a good friend and a founder, Drew from ShipBob. I somehow found his Calendly online, and I called him and I was like, "Hey man, can you tell me about warehousing? I need to understand stuff because I've experienced building machine vision solutions, but what really goes on?" And he was like, "If you can try working there." I was like, "Okay." So I went on Google, I was searching how do I work here? Found Manolo, which is Uber for warehouses.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Then I was going all over the US as a packer. So I was packing boxes all day long.
Yeah.
I was working at the same facility in 2 different states, and it was taking me longer at one location than the other. And it was due to tape. So the operations person, instead of using Uline, they used something else, and they got a pretty bad tape, and it was taking me 30 seconds more in California than in Texas. How do I communicate this with a different manager from 2 different locations? I can speak to them. They'll forget about it.
Yeah.
But what does it matter, right?
Yeah. So the tape is probably cheaper, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm saving a couple of cents, but the time, and then you multiply that by $100 and you're done.
You're losing.
Exactly.
You think you're saving, but you're losing. Yeah.
So I was like, why don't we just fix simple camera on top of a backing station and observe what's going on? And then comes all the issues that you can think of, right? Process. Are they following the process? Now, when it comes to what's being placed into the box, why does this matter? A lot of brands care about the open box experience.
Yeah.
What they mean by this, it can be things to as much as the label needs to be facing front when a person opens the box.
Right.
So if you're not doing that, you're going off what the brands has asked you to do.
Yeah.
So you're not following SOP. So can we make sure that the items are facing forward? Now, over time, can we identify whether the right item is being placed?
Right.
Are they placing the dunnage correctly? If you're using a fragile item, are they placing it around? Are they placing dunnage at the bottom and then the item and then dunnage again or not? All those kind of things come into play. Then, obviously the Rabot, continuous improvement.
Yes.
We are able to do time studies on different steps and understand, are you spending 90% of the activity of packing on truly packing, or are you doing other things like fixing your printer, entering data?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Checking your phone, something like that. Yeah.
One of the biggest things is what I want to I'll stand by this, and I'm glad that we're saying this online over here, right? I really care about the end user, that's the packer on the floor.
Yeah.
If our tool is being used as something as a disciplining tool or big brother, that is a no-go.
Yeah.
So the first thing is when we vet our customers that we bring on board, we need to understand, do they know how to communicate with their packers, with their associates in the right way? because nobody wants to make a mistake intentionally. It just happens.
Yeah.
And why are you just like pointing the finger at this person and then that's not how you do things.
Yeah.
So yeah, not Big Brother. We are here. We blur out folks' faces. We make sure it's not. We don't tie it to like this person's productivity and things like that. Just truly trying to understand how can we help operations teams be better at communicating these things. Communication, right? Like
Right.
it's
So key. Yeah, I mean, I think that's such a great thing too, because those Packers, and I'm sure you learned this in your experience, right? I mean, it's you're doing the same thing like all day. It's like monotonous, right? Repetitive, and sometimes you make mistakes. I mean, we're human, right? I mean, that's the problem with being human, right?
So one example.
Sure.
There was 2 boxes that was going to the same address. So, as a packer, you're like, oh, it's going to the same location, so why don't I just put it into a larger box and then ship it out?
Yeah.
Dimensional weight, we know this, but as an associate, you don't really know this.
Yeah.
So for a good 1 month, most of the packers were used to putting 2 boxes into one large box and labeling and sending it out. A couple of weeks later, the operations team's like, oh, why is my shipping charges a lot higher than it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
and was that like intentional? Was that a mistake? No. They were honestly trying to do something that they thought was
They're
right.
trying to make it work. Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting, and I think I have to ask you a question though, because you went around the country, you said, and worked these packing jobs and try to figure out warehousing. I mean, did you tell the managers that you were working with what you were doing?
They called on because I was like, okay, I'm going to do a packet today. I want to do inbound the next day. Can I do returns? I was like cleaning all birds' shoes for a good week, and I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. I get the whole process. Can I go and do something else? And they were like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's not really the way it works.
What are you up to? And I was like, I was up front. I was like, I'm a startup founder. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that's actually how I got my first customer, because I was like, he was like, can you solve this for me? And I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that for you. Over a weekend, we put it together. I convinced my brother to leave his job, and then I was like, hey, I think I found something.
Yeah.
Come, let's do this. He was convinced. He joined.
There you go, Rabot, right? So, I mean, so now talk to us about what the solution looks like. I mean, we talked about kind of like what it does and how it works and things, but I guess kind of explain, like, if I'm a packer, how does this solution look like in front of me, and like how is it telling me that I'm not doing the correct process, or I need to make a change or something?
Yeah. So today there's this one thing that we do is we have a screen that's there next to them, and over there it's like very large images. So once they put the dunnage in, it turns green, so they know it's all done.
Yeah.
If they forget to do it, they don't even have to look at it. They just do their work. If something is not being done, there'll be an alert sent to the team leaders on the floor that they'll be able to know what's going on. There's some suspicious activity happening in terms of something didn't get placed. We'll come and be able to check it. So then we also have the ability for certain customers where the packers can actually call for help. They're like, hey, I need some help over here. They can interact with our UI. So it's pretty simple. Four icons as dunnage in place, right items. So that's
I mean, it's very simple, and I think it makes total sense, and it's such an assist for the packer. And I think oftentimes I say that that employee, especially the packer or the loader, is like your last line of defense, right, for the customer. Like you're the last one that's going to touch it. So you want to enable them and empower them to do the best job they can and make it right. So I mean, giving them a tool like that, I think is fantastic, especially one that's simple and easy to use, and that's going to tell you like right away whether something's off or everything's good. And I think that takes a lot of time away, and it improves a lot of efficiency and accuracy too on the outbound side. So really interesting stuff. And you guys are focused on the pack station. So what's the next part that you're going to focus on?
That's a great question. Right now we are testing out first receipt and a bit of like understanding. We're talking to a few returns folks as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Our whole objective is if we can really improve that pack out process, why is there a need for returns? We have stopped it right then and there. So another use case that some of our one brand was able to dispute 100% of the complaints that came through because they were all fraudulent.
Yeah.
But now you again the care about the packer, right? So you need to understand when you say I didn't get this product, there's a ticket that goes to the warehouse, and the manager can go and find out who that packer was and ask them what happens. And certain large organization, you get docked on it too.
Yeah.
So it's simple for me to click a button and say I didn't get it. But you need to understand there is a human being at the end of the line that's going to get impacted by some ridiculous things that you tend to do.
Yeah, very interesting.
Sorry, I can't get like really angry.
No, go for it. We love the passion. Give us the passion, Channa.
I know I'll be cussing out over here then, and then holding a different story. Maybe on the second podcast, maybe we'll go.
Oh, okay. Second one after he's warmed up. We got it. Okay. All right, cool. So very interesting to I see Rabot, right? And learn more about it from you. So if people are interested out there and they want to learn more about Rabot, how can they do that?
Should I drop my phone number here? No, just find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
My calendar will be there on my LinkedIn as well. Like how I did with Dhruv, find some time with me. I'm always happy to talk. Again, it's always the first question is what can I do to help, and that's the approach that I like to take. So again, you can find me on LinkedIn, and I'm always willing to help.
All right, Channa, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks,
Thank you so much for talking to us about Rabot, and keep with the standing plane, continuous improvement, right?
Exactly.
Yes. All right.